Hi, I am Poem Praise 2, and I like to welcome you to an evening edition read here on Poem Praise 2. Certainly, peace and blessings be upon you and your family this evening. Now, for this evening, we are going to go ahead and get into Lies My Teacher Told Me. For this take, we are on take number 5 of chapter number 5. Without further ado, this take that I have for you, it reads as such. While textbooks now show the horror of slavery and its importance on Black America, they remain largely silent regarding the impact of slavery on white America. They remain largely silent regarding the impact of slavery on white America. Twice I said that here on Poem Praise 2. Let us continue. North or South? Textbooks have trouble acknowledging that anything might be wrong with white America or with the United States as a whole. Perhaps telling realistically what slavery was like for slaves is the easy part. After all, slavery as an institution is dead. We have progressed beyond it, so we can acknowledge its evils. Even the Museum of the Confederacy in Richmond mounted an exhibit on slavery that did not romanticize, the institution without explaining slavery's relevance to the present. However, its existence coverage is like not existent. Let me repeat that, y'all. Without explaining slavery relevance to the present. However, its extensive, there it is, coverage is like extensive coverage of the Hawley-Smoot tariff. Just more facts for hapless 11th graders to memorize. Slavery's twin legacies to the present are the social and economic inferiority it conferred upon the blacks and the cultural racism it instilled in whites. Both continue to haunt our society. Therefore, treating slavery enduring legacy is necessarily controversial. Unlike slavery, racism is not yet over. I repeat twice for you here, coming from Poem Praise 2. The last line of this paragraph: unlike slavery, racism is not over yet. To function adequately in civil life in our troubled times, students must learn what causes racism. Although it is a complicated historical issue, racism is the Western world stems primarily from two related historical processes: taking land from and destroying indigenous people and enslaving Africans to work that land. So stole the land and then had somebody else to work the land. To teach this relationship, textbooks would have to show students the dynamic interplay between slavery as a socioeconomic system and racism as an ideal system. Sociologists call these the social structure and superstructure. Slavery existed in many societies and periods before and after African slave trade, made possible by European advantages in military and social technology. The slavery started by Europeans in the 15th century was different because it became the enslavement of one race by another. Increasingly, whites viewed the enslavement of whites as illegitimate, while the enslavement of Africans became acceptable. Unlike earlier, slavery's children of African American slaves would be slaves forever and could never achieve freedom through intermarriage with the owning class. The rationale for this differential treatment was racism. As Montesquieu, I know I butchered that name. I'm going to spell it for y'all. It's M-O-N, it's French, okay? It's Montesquieu, the French social philosopher who had such a profound influence on American democracy, ironically observed in 1748. It is impossible for us to suppose these creatures to be men because allowing them to be men, a suspicion would follow that we ourselves are not Christian. Here, Montesquieu presages cognitive dissonance by showing how we molded our ideas, in parentheses, about blacks, in parentheses, to rationalize our actions. Historians have chronicled the rise of racism in the West. Before the 1450s, I was about to say the 1450s. Okay. I just didn't I? Before the 1450s, Europeans considered Africans exotic, but not necessarily inferior. As more and more nations joined the slave trade, Europeans came to characterize Africans as stupid, backward, and uncivilized. Amnesia set in. Europe gradually found it convenient to forget that Moors from Africa had brought to Spain and Italy much of the learning that led to the Renaissance. Europeans had known that Timbuktu, with its renowned university and library, was a center of learning. Now, forgetting Timbuktu, Europe and European Americans perceived Africa as the dark continent. By the 1850s, many white Americans, including some Northerners, claimed that Black people were so hopelessly inferior that slavery was a proper form of education for them. It also removed them physically from the alleged barbarianism of the Dark Continent. That does complete take number 5 for you here on Poem Praise 2. So I certainly would like for you at this time to hit the like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell. You'll know when Poem Praise 2, is coming with something new for you. So I do want at this time, I want for you and your family to be well, to be safe, to be blessed, and it be at thy will. Poem Praise 2. I will see you later, y'all. All right, see you soon. Till next time. Peace and blessings.